everyone, Xanero Gaming coming at y'all with another video, and we are doing another deck profile from the set for Union Arena for Onepunchman, and we're going to be doing Garou. But before we get into that, please leave this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. This is Garou, the main card in this deck. He is 6 energy, 1 action point. Really strong card. He's 4,000 plus BP, so you know we're getting a boost with that plus sign. He does generate you 1 energy. The whole idea of the deck is to get into this guy and get a big payoff. The deck kind of revolves around, you know, putting cards in your trash from your deck, and then also drawing and trashing cards. You're trying to fuel your graveyard, or your sideline, my bad, to get this guy out. He is going to be so strong. But let's get this full screened up, going into it. There we go. Nice. So, 6 energy, 1 action point, 4,000 plus BP, 1 energy generation. He does raid on top of Garou. The 6 energy is steep, but I think we run 10 to 13 2 energy generators. So, a lot of different ways for us to get to this 6 energy, no problem. This character gains all abilities listed below if you have the required number of cards in your sideline. 5 or more when attacking, draw 1 card. Really awesome to see a card this strong have some kind of recur value, so that way maybe if you're late in the game, you've used a lot of your cards, he kind of lets you help you get some cards back into your hand, because you are trashing some cards throughout the game. 5 is super easy to get to. By the time you get to 6 energy in him, you should be at 5, so you're at least getting this effect. 10 or more, this character gains 500 BP and impact 1. Really good, really strong. So 10 or more in most games, he should be at 10 or more as well, especially with this deck. You'll be cycling into it. But it is a doozy. It keeps going from there. 15 or more, this character gains another 500 BP. And once per turn when this character attacks and is not blocked, switch it to active. So you're able to swing with a 5,000 BP, draw a card, impact 1, and if your opponent doesn't block it, you get to swing again for another check. So essentially, you're either always going to get, you know, a life and a body, or 2 bodies. Yeah, they're not blocking this guy, right? So you're gonna get 2. You can get 2 life. They don't want to block this guy. Really strong card. Puts your opponent in a tough spot. And that when attacking is not once per turn to draw a card. So if you swing, get a life, draw a card, they don't block you, you get to go back to active, swing again, draw another card. Really strong. I love this card. This is definitely the deck I'm second most typed up for. I've already made my deck profile for the Esper Girls. I'll have to link that in the video for you guys to look at, but yes, Garou is my second favorite deck I'm going to be building from this set for sure. He is really strong, and the payoff is good. And now going into the rest of the deck, that is the main card. That is everything we're trying to get into. The rest of the deck facilitates this, and instead of going through the cards in the monster, the part of the deck, the characters, I want to touch on the events in sight first to kind of give you a little better idea. I think knowing what these do is a little more important, and then we'll get into the monsters. But just monster cell here. This is just your, you know, 4 final trigger. Gotta run 4 of it. Get your AP back to active. The awesome thing about this one, you know, just 3 energy, 1 action point to play it, so you can do it pretty early to progress your game states. And then 4 of our special trigger, which is a really cool card. It is Fist of Flowing Water Crushing Rock. So his technique that he learns from his master that he doesn't like to do in the show. Spoilers, but he does do it when he gets in a tough spot. 5 energy, 2 action point to play for a special card, which is, you know, kind of steep, right? But it comes with a big payoff. It is a special trigger in your life, so you get to take something out. If Garou is on your field, reduce this card's action point by 1 while in your hand. I like this design a little bit better than some of the other ones we've seen where you have to pay the 2 action point and get it back. So this one you can play it for 1 if you have Garou out, and that is a better way. Union Arena is getting better at making cards, and they're learning from their mistakes in the past. I think it's the Purple Code Geass one, right? Like you have to have 2 action points up to even play the card, and you get 1 back. This one lets you, you know, play it for the 1 cheaper, which is a better way to do it if you have Garou out. So really, it's only going to be a 1 action point kill spell. Choose up to 1 character with 5,000 less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. Then choose up to 1 Garou on your field. It gains if your opponent sidelines this character with a special ability. They add the card with the special ability to their hand instead until the end of the turn. So it's a pseudo protection. You're able to swing with the Garou, play this card, swing with that big Garou. Now you know you're not getting messed up by any special triggers. But so your opponent, if they can use the special trigger on him, but that card goes to their hand instead, so they have to pay the action point for it during their turn. So it's really going to make your opponent want to special trigger one of your other characters on the board, so they still get to do one. And the way you do that is you want to attack with maybe some of your other, play this card, then swing with your other characters, and then swing with your Garou, because then now they're not going to want to hit the Garou, right? They're going to hit one of the cards you already swung with. That's the play you want to do. Really awesome, cool, unique, special trigger here. Love to see it. Super, super cool. Getting to, sideline something with 5,000 less BP and get some protection. Really important card in the deck. Going into our cycle pieces, we do have 3 of Hero Almanac. This is an event card, 3 energy, 1 action point. It's a draw trigger in life, which is awesome. Really, really good to have a draw trigger. The event says draw a card, then you may place 1 character from your hand into your sideline. So you don't have to do this. You can draw the card and then ignore everything else on this card if you really want to, but it does have a really cool effect. So if you do sideline a character after you draw a card, you choose up to 1 character in your opponent's front line with a base BP equal to the BP of the card placed in your sideline with this ability. Since it says equal to, I think you have to be very specific with what you're trashing, and then you have to pick that character that has exactly that same BP, and this character must block your opponent's attack if able. So making your opponent, you want to kind of like sideline your Garous from your hand that are 4,000, and then pick their 4,000 character, and now it's kind of like you have a pseudo snipe, right? Like they have to block with that character that you choose, so you swing first, that character has to block, you can't choose to swing block with one of the other characters, and so it's almost like another pseudo, kill spell here, because you draw a card, you trash something that you don't really need out of your hand, that's not helping you, and now you get to swing with one of your characters and sideline get over one of their guys by swinging into it, and if you have the impact, even better, now you get to check in. This card is really, really versatile, really good. I would run it at a 4-of, but we're already running, stage card in here as well, so I didn't want to clog the hand up and not have room for some characters. But we are running 3 of one of the most important cards in the deck. This is what's going to help you cycle through your deck to get the big payoffs for that Garou. Monster Association, 3 energy, 1 action point. It's a sight, it stays on the field, it generates you 2 energy, which is awesome, right? You'd never feel bad about playing this. If on your turn 2 or 3 you're at the 3 energy and you just slap 2 of these on the board, you don't feel bad about a turn wasted, because now it's generating you double energy, and it's going to get a really good effect. It is a get trigger in hand, which I love to see this, because you want to see this card. And usually with get triggers in stages like this or sites, I think that you should be maybe only running 2 of them, but this card you want to see multiples of, because you can keep getting this effect. So it says activate main, switch to resting, place the top card of your deck into your sideline. So it's free cycle if you have 2, 3 of these on the field. Now every turn you're putting 3 cards from the top of your deck into the trash, trying to get you ramped up into that Garou to get his payoff. And then activate main, switch to resting, sideline this card, place it to 1 Garou or Monster Association Affinity card from your sideline to the top of the deck. What this helps you do is cycle those busted Garous back to the top of your deck, so that way you can play him out again, and you have enough stuff in the sideline to use it again. So say they get rid of one of those Garous, you could just sideline this card, put him back to the top of your deck, and you get to play him out next turn, hopefully. That would mess up your energy a little bit, but this is just super strong. One of the most important pieces in the deck. You want to see this on your turn 2 or 3. You want to get it down as fast as possible. And I'm even thinking about maybe trying to find a way to put this one at a 4-of, but you do still need to provide some bodies on the board for your opponent, not to just swing out through you before you get to your big payoff. That's why I think that 3 is just enough of this, because it does have a get trigger in the hand. We did the big Garou. Now we're going down the line to our 4 energy action point 1. Garou gives you 1 energy. He is 4,000 BP, so this is really, really strong. And this Garou is similar to the playstyle where you get a payoff excuse me, from having the cards in the trash. This character gains all abilities listed below if you have the required number of cards in your sideline. 5 or more when attacking, look at the top card of your deck, then place it at the top of your deck or into your sideline. So if you need that card and it's the Garou, the big Garou you've been searching for, you keep it there. If it's not, you throw it in the sideline, you cycle some more, right? So you do have to have 5 or more for that, but once you get to the 5 or more in your trash, this guy can help you start cycling and getting more and more value. If it has 10 or more, this character has Nullify Impact, which is really, really awesome. Very versatile effect. I think that this helps combat you know, the Saitama decks that are going to be in this same set. And I think that Garou has a really good matchup to Saitama because it does cycle the graveyard or the sideline a little bit faster, and then it provides some ways to counter the Saitama with the Nullify Impact. If you have 15 or more, this one gets kind of nutty. Like, this is strong. Damage 2. This character has damage 2. Really strong, really awesome. I do wish, you know, he had impact if he had 5 or more, but I get it. They're trying to make it a little balanced. But this card is so strong when you have 15 or more. Damage 2 can clean up and end the game if your opponent's not ready to block this guy out. And it's an active trigger. Really awesome to see an active trigger in red. This helps the deck out so much. Really, really awesome card. I know it's a 4 energy to play, and we're all running 4 of this Garou, but 3 of this guy, really, really strong. I think we would run 4 if it gave us 2 energy, but he's just another, you know, Garou that you kind of want to work to. These 2 are your game enders, and these other Garous give you double energy. So going into that, this is the promo Garou that you can get from the events at your local game stores. 3 energy, 1 action point, gives you 2 energy generation. Really sick art on this one. 3,000 plus BP, no trigger in life, which is unfortunate, so you cannot add him to your hand. But if you see him in life, he's going to your sideline and cycling your sideline. So in this deck, you don't feel bad about that. During your turn, just always, he gains 1,000 BP. So 3 energy, 1 action point for 4,000 BP. Attacker is not bad. We are running it at a 3 because we want that double energy. And you can see here 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. We are running 11, 12, 13 double energy generators. 3 of that Garou. And then going into this other one here, another 3 energy, 1 action point, double energy generator Garou. This one does have draw trigger in life, which is awesome. You get to draw a card, and then he goes to the sideline, cycling your sideline. He's 2,500 plus BP, and this is another Garou that gets value depending on how many cards we have in the sideline. So even this Garou late in the game can do some damage. This character gains all abilities listed below if you have the required number of cards in your sideline. 5 or more, 500 BP. 10 or more, 500 BP. 15 or more, 500 BP. So if you have 15 or more, this character goes up to being, what is that? 4,000 BP, right? Which is nothing to scoff at. That's really, really good. And then he has a win play. You may pay 1 AP if you do choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line with BP equal or less to this character's BP and sideline it. So it's essentially a 2 action point. Play this character and pop something that's his BP or less. Really, really good playing this card early. You don't mind paying that extra BP to, you know, sideline one of your opponent's earlier attackers, because then now you're taking one of their bodies off. They may have to move up and mess their energy line, and you're keeping this Garou in the back, giving you the double energy to get into your Garou. Really strong card. This one's really, really good. I like it at a 3 of. Okay, so I did fix that. Sorry about that. I forgot that that Garou is the same one. It's just a different art, which made it a lot easier. So we are just putting this Garou here at a 4 of, and then taking out those other 3 Garous that I had in here that are him, and then just bumping up this Hellfire to 2. But this card right here, super, super strong. I think it is really good for the deck, running it at a 3 of. I do think that instead of putting this one at a 4 of, I do think going to a 4 of this Hellflame is really, really strong. This Garou, really cool, really good card, but going through it, sorry about that. Hellfire Flame. So I was running this at a 2 of, but like I said, just took out those other Garous, bumped the other one up to a 4 of. And this card, it does not have a trigger in life, but you do want double energy generators in the deck, and I think this one does it perfect. We don't want to run a ton of the bounce cards, you know, bounce the one, come up. This one just is, if it's active, gives you 2 energy, 2,500 PP, 1 energy to play it. 2 energy, 1 action point to play it. This character is active. It gains double energy generation, or 1 more energy generation. Essentially, you want to play him on the back line, play him back there with your Hunters Associations, and he just sits there as an double energy generator. But if not, you can put him up on the front line for 2,500 BP. Going down the line for our other 2 energy plays, we are running 4 of this Garou. This one is so strong. This is our color trigger Garou. 2 energy, 1 action point, 1 energy to play, at 3,000 BP. He says, color, choose 1 character with 2,500 less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. So a good way to clear off some early bodies. And then he'll go to your sideline, fueling your sideline. And then also a great cycle card when played. Place up to 2 cards from the top of your deck into your sideline. So if you're already at like 14 and you just want to get to the 15, just play it. You can only play 1 if you want to. You don't have to put 2 in there. Really strong card. Really, this card right here, if you see it early, is one of the ones you want to see because you play it, cycle the 2 cards into your sideline, and now you have a 3000 BP body, and you want to be playing him on the front line to, wall out your opponent with a 3000 body. Like I was touching on before, we're only running 2 of this Tempest Wind Monster Association. 1 energy, 1 action point, double energy generator, 1500 BP. No trigger, but this is the, I like these cards. When played, return one other character on your field with 1 or less energy to your hand. If you cannot, return this to your hand. They do help you cheat into the double energy cards a little early, but sometimes you don't always want to bounce the stuff back to your hand. So that's why I'm thinking we only run 2 of this one, and then 4 of the Hellfire Flame, because he is also 100 Monster Association, so it does help us out getting that energy, but still keep our energy line good. Nothing to, scoff out here. You do want to play these, so you have a 1 energy play drop turn, and then this is our other 1 energy drop, and it's Phoenix Man. This is a searcher for the deck. 1 energy, 1 action point, 1500 BP. It does generate you 1 energy. It is a draw trigger in life. When played, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Garou or Monster Association Affinity card among them, and add it to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. If you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. So I did think that initially this might be a good 4 of in the deck, but you already have ways to draw and stuff like that. This card is really good. Maybe once I build the deck and can playtest it some, maybe bump this up to 4. I could see that happening, and then just play him out as an early blocker body that you don't care about too much, and just being able to cycle your deck more. But I do think that the Monster Association card, which this does have it in the trait, so you can search this card out with him, helps you cycle enough. But if we feel like the deck isn't cycling enough, we can put, this guy to 4 of and find some other way to make room for it. Going into our 0 drops, we are running 2 of the Super S. I love the art on this card. Really cool. Monster Association. 0 energy, 1 action point. No trigger, 1000 BP, and it does generate you 1 energy, and it just says activate main, switch to resting. Once per turn, this character gains 1 energy generation extra. At the end of the main phase, you sideline this character. Just an easy 0 drop that you can play down early in the game to give you that 1 energy. And then if you're ever feeling like, you have 2 of the associations out or any 2 other double energies, and you kind of want to cheat into one of the Garou 6 drops early, you can just, use her to get that double energy and then raid into that 6 drop Garou. This is a really good consistency piece of the deck. I do not like how these cards don't have triggers for the 0 drops, but that would maybe add a little too much consistency to the deck. But we are running this one at a 4 of. It is Garou, Monster Association, the weird little eyeball monster. 0 energy, 1 action point, 1 energy generation, 2000 BP. When played, look at the top card of your deck, then place it on the top or bottom of your deck, or into your sideline, which is what you're almost always going to do unless you find it to be a card you really want. This card is really good, helping cycle the deck. Just, play it, search, put it on the bottom if you don't need it, put it in the trash. Very versatile. I think this card doesn't need to be a 4-0 because you play it. It just sucks that it doesn't have a trigger, right? It'd be awesome if this was a get or a draw trigger, but understandable. They had to take some consistency from the deck somewhere. And then we have our Garou 0 drop, 1 action point to play, gives you 1 energy, 2000 BP, nothing on the board, but it is an active trigger in life, which is really awesome. But I do wish this one was a get trigger, only because it is one of our few. You see here we don't have any 2 energy play Garous, so that might make it hard sometime to keep Garous on the board until we get to the 3, 4 energy. And eventually 6. This is the only Garou, so you want to keep this one in your hand early in the game if you can, so that way you have an early drop to play down and be able to go into your raid Garous. But that is a deck profile for this deck. Like I said, I am super excited to put this together, do some cool stuff with this deck. It has a lot going on with it. I will do an updated deck profile once I kind of figure it out and get to do some testing, but I am super excited to build this deck. Really going to look like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I like, messing with my cards, and this deck lets you do that a lot. Being able to look at the top cards, put 1 in the sideline, draw 1, put 1 in the sideline, use your association, put another 1 in the sideline. So it's really cool deck. I look forward to playing a lot of games with this, but let me know what you guys think. What are you looking forward to building in One-Punch-Man now that it is out? Definitely this deck and the Espers are my 2 favorite, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please leave the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. Peace.